It's holistic money making for the African Black creative. I just recently did my first R1 million deal, and it's a sponsorship. I started a media house, and I'm going to make you sponsorable, and I'm also going to make you able to make that day-to-day money that we need. I'm going to make you more and more able to do it, mainly because I'm going to share information with you which is both simple but then not necessarily used together or well known. I've read over 100 books on the subject of photography. I've read my fair share of sales books, fair share of business books, and this is a compilation of all the knowledge I've gathered, made for you, the African Black. I can only talk from Black experience because I am who I am. It doesn't mean white people can't use it, but I'll tell you what, I'm an African Black, and this is my book. It's called Black Money. So I'm just going to give you a breakdown of what you'll find in the chapters. I've got the manuscript here. It's being published right now to Barnes & Noble and various other platforms. If you search Veneka Dziruni book, or if you search Black Money Veneka or something like that, because if you search Black Money by itself, this is actual words in English. So realize all sorts of stuff will come up. But if you search Black Money book, Black Money Veneka, Black Money holistic money making for the creative African Black, you'll find this book. Alright, so the book starts out with the about the author section. It's me letting you know that you can trust me, basically. I go over my Wits University Fagu Gessi Awards tenure, or like I was a finalist in the Fagu Gessi Awards for digital arts, and I was the top photographer at the Fagu Gessi Awards held by Wits University. Various things about me. I've taken photos of Queen Sheba III, actual royalty. Done work with Red Bull International, Standard Bank, various people that I've worked with, 2 Grammy Award winning artists, 3 Grammys in total in my portfolio, and all in a relatively short time. And basically the rate of my growth, you'll be able to beat it if you just like listen to what I'm saying in the book. You'll realize that it makes sense, like the moment you listen to it. So that's just preparing you, letting you know that no, I do know what I'm talking about. I'm an avid reader, so then I've pulled out the useful stuff for us here in Africa, and it's not outside of us. Lots of European content, lots of American content. This is not what I made. I made content just for me and you. Use it. Good. Alright, so it starts with a summary of the book, and then a letter from me where I just tell you this simple thing, where it says that this book is made for the African creative, specifically for the Black artist who dares to dream. I'm just telling you who the book is for. And then we go on to particular information for the reader. As you read through this book, you'll notice that certain themes, ideas, and concepts will be repeated. This is intentional. I wanted my book to be something safe, where if you go through it once, you should be able to still receive the concept because the theme is recurring, or it's interlocked and interweaved. I don't want you to be worried that if you didn't read this one sentence that you didn't get the point, or to need to stop and meticulously go line by line. The moment you go through this book once, you'll have everything. That's the assurance. Now, the very first important note before I start with the book is I'm trying to expel particular beliefs within our society. The first important note is you don't need to have in order to do. So in this chapter, or well, in this note, I point out that very often in order to make a video, I think to myself, I need to have a magnificent camera. My YouTube channel right now is at 50,000 views. I was using a Samsung Galaxy A12. which is a super miscellaneous phone from India, to make all my videos, including my photography business course, but you would never suspect that. You would think I have something better. I'm just using what I have. I don't need to have a super good camera in order to do a course. Just do the course with whatever you have. Grab your friend's camera, grab whatever is available to you, do this damn thing. Don't get stuck on the idea that I need to have a camera. You'll kill your dream. Don't get stuck on the idea that I need to have money to boost my Facebook ad. You will kill your dream. Just literally join a group and share that flyer. You know what I mean? Do it 100 times, you'll see what the fuck happens. It'll be good. Excuse me for swearing. I've been working with Americans, it rubs off onto you. Anyway, so that's the very first important note. Then it goes into chapter 1, the power of orientation. In this chapter, I talk about planning. Before you cut a tree, you sharpen the axe. Otherwise, you'll cut this tree for eternity and wonder why. The first thing I talk about in the chapter is non-consideration. Thinking in itself is a trap type mechanism. Should you think enough, you will stop from doing anything. You might not leave home if you think too hard about it. You could think about all the possibilities, all the dangers, all the rights, all the wrongs, all the everything, but realize that this is a bit of a web-like thing. Part of the thoughts that you should have is knowing not to think way too much. If you plan in such a way that the plan stops you from moving, you've messed it up. So the very first part is don't think too much. Embracing non-consideration. Then start with what you have. I had a Samsung Galaxy A12, it's carried me all this way. I might not even want another phone. I've got selfies with ministers in there. I've got literal the president's staff congratulating me after my award ceremony in there. I've got, it's carried me all the way. It's a beautiful thing, the thing that you have. There is no better sword than the one that you have, because that one is yours. You have everything that you need. Whether it's a friend, a camera, a phone, anything at all, you have what you need. Start. So this part is mainly about planning, figuring out what your exact path is, because it needs clarification before you can gun for it. For me, it's pure photography. I have it very clear in my head, and I did do a planning session beforehand, but nothing that would stop me. And with pure photography, I've gotten so far that, okay, literally the amount of money that, the amount of value that I've had like passed through me is what? It's it's 1.1 million or 1.2 million rand in the year. So then it does become that you can probably get away with that like very niche thing that you want to do, that specific thing, as long as you really want to do it, because you'll figure out the nooks and crannies, the ups and downs, getting through it. So it's about planning for that part, the first chapter. Second one, very boring, navigating legalities and acceptability. Be acceptable wherever you are. Do not pull out a camera when you do not have the right sort of media card and all these things, and take a picture of the president as he's walking through walking through town. You might get in trouble for it. Have your licensing in line. Be allowed to do what you're doing. Be allowed to do what you're doing. That's what this chapter is about. I go a little bit in depth and realize that it's important because it can take away from your image in public or how people perceive you if you don't have your paperwork in line. Also can take away from your ability to make money. People take advantage of you, your paperwork isn't in line, all this stuff. Work towards getting this. A very boring chapter, very necessary. And it's almost how when you get a laptop for the first time or you get a computer for the first time, the thing you download first is an antivirus. You do not go and download that odd movie or that whatever it is from that whatever site you go to, you know the one I'm talking about, without downloading an antivirus. So that's the antivirus section. Get yourself legal. Alright, amazing. So chapter 3 is a bit more in-depth on planning. It's the art of planning. There's the orientation part of planning, and then there's the breakdown of, okay, what do I want to do this year as a photographer, this month as a photographer, what's the theme, what's the main idea, so that you can be acting in a particular way. If I'm trying to network, which is the first thing that you need to do, you need to not be acting in a pure, like, extract as much profit as possible kind of way, because you won't make friends to the extent that you should in that phase. So then this goes through that planning from big to small. And that's chapter 3. Chapter 4 is executive functionality. So it essentially goes through estimations of effort, the parts that you'll have to manage in your organization. This will be personnel. This could be just you, if it's a solo organization, or it could be you and other people. It's personnel, it's the sales part, the marketing part. It just goes over them basically, but it makes you know how many things you need to be thinking of. It's that sales, that personnel part, very first one, most important one. Sales part, the treasury part, keeping off your assets, right? Keeping off your money, is taking a look at how much money is coming in, how much is going out, making sure that income is greater than outgo. That's the treasury part. The fourth part is the technical aspects. Make sure you know how to take a photo. Go and read something, go and study something, take a bunch of photos, refine this. Make sure your people also know, if you have people. And then the fifth part, quality control, correction. If it's an organization, have a corrective element, have policies, have things where you come back to them, where all of you have already agreed to them, so that you don't have too much divergence. The reason why KFC can expand as big as it can, or McDonald's can expand as big as they can, is they're all doing the same thing. They have policies, they have rules that bind them. And to make an organization that expands, you sort of need to be doing the same thing. So then it goes over that, the quality control and correction aspect. This also goes over staff training. Enhance your staff, make it so that they become, you know what I mean? They become good themselves, and are becoming better and better every day. It's sort of an infinite process, this, but then it makes the structure more and more firm. You train from the top down, or like you make sure that each person essentially is having the holes filled, or having everything polished up so that they can do their job better. Then the final section, second most important section after just having the right people there, or having good people there, public relations, perception management. The thing that gets you sponsored is how sponsors perceive you. The thing that makes money released easily to you is how people perceive you. If Donald Trump asked me to borrow him $1,000, I would give it to him because of my perception of it. That $1,000 might not ever come back, but I'll tell you what, I'll show off that I gave Donald Trump $1,000. Why is that? Because of my perception of it. Allows for money to be released easily. This is a very, very important part, and it's the difference between me and the street photographer who's still on the street. One can get consumed in the money making up to the point where they don't do the polishing that allows them to go to the next level. After going to the Fagu Gesi Awards, I went straight back to the street that I started doing photography on, like street photography. And I met someone who has equal skill and equal equipment. And said, wow, how did you manage to do that? How did you get up to this point? The difference is I'm polishing something in the background. I'm not spending as much time earning 10 Rand, 20 Rand, or whatever it is, that's street money. I'm polishing my background for something bigger. I now have a website to show you. I now have a company to show you. I now have something to show you. A portfolio, a resume. And this is very important. And these are the essential parts that my book goes over. Of course, there's other notes, tidbits, and further details, examples, and it's a well-written book. I'll have you know, I've always been the best at English at any school that I've been at. I scored 91% at my creative writing in high school. That was the second best in the world. There was only one other person who beat me. He got 93%. I don't know how he managed, but I'll tell you what, it's a good read. I wrote it well. I read it, and I'm happy with it. This is Black Money, and this is that ability that you've been waiting for. The ability to make more and more money each month, more and more money each year. It's a gradual process, and I'll tell you what, the first 3 months will probably mess you up. You'll get nothing, something, something, and then everything all at once. So please expect that. But at the same time, if you're lucky, it could be an immediate process as well. So it's a real book, and it's a practical book. I didn't add fluff to it. It's a 200-page book. I could have made it 300, 400 pages, but I'm just saying what I'm saying, nothing more. This is it. This is everything you've been waiting for.
Yep.
Read the book.